Hey, it's Dusti Martin with Platinum Living Realty dropping in to give you your monthly market update for the towns of Cave Creek and Carefree. It's currently September 8th, 2022. We're going to just jump right into it. Grab a seat, hit the subscribe button, grab a drink, buckle up. Let's go. All right, so let's just get right into it. Our active listings are up 160% over this time last year, but our sold listings are only down 44% over this time last year, leaving us with about 50 sold listings and 193 active listings. Now, that sounds a little crazy, but Cave Creek and Carefree tend to be more seasonal than other parts of the valley. Arizona in general, especially in the valley where it's hot, is very seasonal, but we have a higher percentage of seasonal residents in Cave Creek and Carefree and seasonal visitors. So keep that in mind. We get hit a little harder over the summer months than other parts in the Phoenix metro area. Our median price per square foot, though, is up. Way up, 22.6% over this time last year, currently sitting at about $350 and change per square foot, which is great. But our months of supply, and while it is up 369%, which I know a lot of people are going to need to sit down and chill out and take a breather to really wrap their mind around that. But with all that said, we went from 0.82, meaning not even a month's worth of supply. That leading number was a 0. We went from just a couple weeks of inventory to 3.86 months of supply. So not even 4 months. Remember, anything less than 4 months worth of inventory is considered a seller's market. And make sure you watch to the end, because I will break it down by price point, because not all price points are created equal and they will differ wildly. So keep that in mind. But like I said, as a whole, the two towns, Cave Creek and Carefree together, basically are just a step and a half, maybe 2 steps inside of a seller's market. And that's a great place to be. It means there's some negotiation that's going to actually have to happen in order to get deals done. And that's good news for buyers who in the last year, 2 years, have had to waive appraisals, inspections, you name it. They've had to give up a lot of rights that you would normally see in a normal, more even market. And now negotiating is a thing again. Being able to inspect the property, maybe a little extra time to inspect the property is still a thing. You might even get some concessions here and there, depending on the price point you're shopping in. So keep that in mind. Then we look at our median days on market. That is up 51.5% over this time last year, currently sitting at 50 days, average days on market. Now, that's not white hot like we've had, but it's also not quite to even stable market territory. So you really subtract the 30 days it takes to close a property at that point. So 30 days minus 50 leaves you with 20 days. So in about 20 days, if your home is priced and marketed appropriately, you should be under contract. If you're not, you need to change some things and try to figure out what's going wrong. Okay, but with all that said, if we were in an even stable market, that days on market would look more like 90 days. So we're still not there, and we still got a long ways to go. So keep that in mind. Not to mention, this time last year, we were closing things in 33 days, which meant they sold after 3 days being on the market, which is absurd. Let's just air it out and let's get it over with. The last 2 years were not normal. They could not last forever. I've been saying it on this channel at least since the end of 2019. Things were going to get bonkers and it wasn't going to last forever. Take advantage of the low interest rates while you could. They're still historically low. Normally, national average, historically speaking, is somewhere in the realm of 7.7%, and we are way under that. So if you're thinking that today's interest rates are high, go and ask your parents what they were looking at in the 80s. It's kind of ugly. All right, so let's jump over to our months of supply by price point. This is where buyers need to pay a lot of attention, because you don't always want to look at an overall generalized statistic, because depending on your price point, you might be in a really hot buyer's market or a really hot seller's market, and they vary wildly by price point. So make sure you're watching all the way to the end, and I break them down for you, okay? So we don't have any data for the $0 to $100,000 price range or the $100,000 to $200,000 price range, simply because there is no inventory there, and we are getting to the point where we haven't seen inventory in that price range in a long time. And to be honest, if we do, it's going to be something that needs a lot of TLC, or is just like something catastrophic would have to happen to drive most of those values down. Then we look at the $200,000 to $300,000 price range, and we had one come on the market, and it sold, and nothing new came on the market. So for that price range, we are at a true even Steven 0 months of supply seller's market. Cannot get any hotter, statistically speaking. It just mathematically can't get any hotter. So there's no way to calculate for negative numbers, simply because we don't know how many buyers are really out there. But we know that there was one, it sold, and nothing new came on the market. And that left us with a true, even, stable 0. Then we look at our $300,000 to $500,000 price range. This is becoming the new, barely feasible entry-level market, if you will, for Cave Creek and Carefree. We had 6 properties, 2 of them sold. That left us with a 3-month supply of homes on the market. And that's a healthy seller's market. It's not crazy seller's market. You'll still get an inspection out of it. You won't have to waive an appraisal. And if you're a seller, chances are you'll get close to your list price, right? And you'll probably appraise at that value. And, to be honest, you'll get like maybe 1 or 2 solid good offers on your property. So keep that in mind. If it's marketed and priced appropriately, it'll sell. It's not going to be what your neighbors got last year, or even 6 months ago or 10 months ago. It's not going to happen. That is gone. You missed your window to get that aspirational pricing. And that's okay, because this pricing, your neighbor's home is now a comp. Look at it that way. And if you can wrap your mind around that, like, you might get what the last house sold for, or maybe a little bit more, but you're not going to get more than like 1%, 2%, 3% over your list price unless you grossly underprice the property. So keep that in mind. Then we're going to go down to the $500,000 to $700,000 price range. We're at 3.27. So basically 3 months and a week-ish, give or take, of inventory. Again, like I said, if no new homes came on the market, it would take about 3 months and a week for us to run out of inventory and homes to sell in that price range. So if your home doesn't sell the first weekend on the market, that's okay. What you're looking for is 10 good showings in a month, in 30 days. And out of those 10 showings, you want 1 good offer. That's the new reality. That's a more normal market. That is a more reasonable market. And to be honest, I think that's better for everyone involved. Then we have the 700,000 to $1 million market. This is kind of becoming where the majority of homes in Cave Creek and Carefree tend to fall these days. This and the next price point that we'll get to, but this $700,000 to $1 million price point, you're at 2.70 months of supply. That is a very healthy seller's market. If you're a buyer, I would not be surprised if you find yourself in a multiple counter offer scenario with maybe 1 or 2, maybe max 3 other people, and only on homes that are really smoking hot, right? So that's a pretty strong seller's market. It's still not unreasonable. It's not the craziness we saw the last 2 years, which is good. So you won't see things like waiving appraisals and contingencies and stuff like that. But I would expect a little bit of competition. Then I want you to look at the $1 to $3 million range. This is where the majority of homes in Cave Creek and Carefree are now listed for sale. It's crazy, right? Take a deep breath. Whew. We are at 5.19 months of supply. We are almost to an even stable market in the $1 to $3 million range. And if we compare it to last year, this price range, which technically is the luxury price range, we would be at 1.63 months of supply. So we went from less than 2 months of supply in the luxury neighborhood to almost like normal. And it seems like it's lightning speed for a lot of people, but go back and watch my videos from last year and from 2020. I was saying this won't last forever. Rates eventually will go up. And even all of last year, the Fed was saying we are going to raise rates in 2022. We had known it was coming for a year in advance, so nobody should be shocked. That's the thing to keep in mind is we were warned and we were warned and we were warned and we were warned and we were warned. And now it's here and people are freaking out. So try not to freak out. Try to look at things from a historical perspective and compare them to what we know to have already happened. Because the one thing we don't have is a crystal ball. I can't tell you what will happen tomorrow, except for I know that the Fed will raise rates some more. How do I know? They said they're gonna. So keep that in mind. Try to keep it rational and reasonable. And if you want more details about your neighborhood, your buying specifications, your situation as a potential seller, or even just an equity update on your home, even if you have no thoughts of selling, go ahead and give me a call at 480-717-9405 or visit my website at dustimartinrealtor.com.